Good day, everyone. I hope you are all safe and healthy. Today, we're going to talk about congruent triangles. Let's take a look at our objectives. At the end of this session, you should be able to illustrate triangle congruence and identify congruent corresponding parts of two triangles. First, let's take a look at this picture. What can you see? Yes, very good. This is a key. We use a key to open a lock. We usually needed a key when we need to open a doorknob. And it is very important that you must always remember to bring the keys when you are going outside your house, because if not, you cannot enter your house. That's why most of us produce a duplicate of our keys. Key duplication is the process of creating a key based on an existing key. It is very important that they fit each other perfectly. Let's check if our duplicate key perfectly fits this original key. Okay, let's try another one. Another one? Yes, the duplicate key perfectly fits the original key. Very good. We can also say that they are congruent. What is congruent? Have you heard this word before? What is the relationship of this word in key duplication? Let's find out. In geometry, two figures or objects are congruent if they have the same shape and size. Okay, that's why it is important that duplicate key is congruent to the original one. Now that you have an idea of congruency, let's see if you can answer this activity. Which of the following pair of triangles are congruent? Is it letter A, letter B, or letter C? I will give you 5 seconds to think about the answer. I know you can do it. Good luck. Your time starts now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up. Let's check if the following triangle perfectly fit each other. Okay, let's try another one. Another one? Okay, what can you see? And what is your answer? Okay, very good. The answer is letter C, because the figure in letter C perfectly fit each other. They have the same shape and size. That's why they are congruent. Now, let's have the figure in letter C. In our previous activity, the two triangles perfectly fit each other. Now, let's separate and name them accordingly. Okay, let's separate them once again. Now, let's name the two triangles. Let's name the first triangle as triangle JOY and the second triangle as triangle SAD. Since triangle JOY exactly fit triangle SAD, let's match their vertices. Angle J matches angle S. Angle O matches angle A. And angle Y matches angle D. We can also say that angle J corresponds to angle S. Angle O corresponds to angle A. Angle Y corresponds to angle D. We can also say that segment JO corresponds to segment SA. Segment OY corresponds to segment AD. And segment JY corresponds to segment SD. Corresponding angles and corresponding sides are parts of a congruent triangle. And what is a congruent triangle? Two triangles are congruent if their vertices can be paired so that corresponding sides are congruent and corresponding angles are congruent. To understand more about congruent triangles, let's take a look at this example. We can read this as triangle ACB is congruent to triangle DFE. This symbol is for congruency, and this one is a symbol for triangle. Let's explore more about these two triangles. If triangle ACB is congruent to triangle DFE, then segment AC is congruent to segment DF. Segment CB is congruent to, yes, congruent to segment FE. Segment AB is congruent to, yes, segment DE. How about angle A that is congruent to angle D? Angle C is congruent to angle F, and angle B is congruent to angle E. Their corresponding parts are all congruent. Then, triangle ACB is really congruent with triangle DFE. Pairing their vertices properly is very important. What if we did not pair their vertices properly? Let's say we want to check if triangle ACB is still congruent to other triangle if we will rename this another triangle to triangle EFD. Let's check. Segment AC is congruent to segment EF. It is still congruent, yes or no? The answer is no. How about segment CB and segment FD? Is it congruent? No. How about segment AB and segment ED? Is it congruent? The answer is yes. How about angle A and angle E? Are they congruent? The answer is no. How about angle C and angle F? Are they congruent? Yes. And lastly, angle B and angle D. Are they congruent? The answer is no. All the corresponding parts of two triangles must be congruent before we can say that two triangles are congruent. Their three corresponding sides and three corresponding angles must be congruent to each other. In this case, only one side and one angle of two triangles are congruent. That's why triangle ACB and triangle EFD is not congruent. Properly pairing their vertices of these two triangles is very important in triangle congruence. Now, let's try to answer the following example. You can get your notebook and ballpen to try answering this example with me. Thank you. Example number 1. If triangle SIT congruent to triangle BIP, which parts must have equal measurements? Okay, let's try. Let's try to find their equal sides. SI is equal to BI. IT is equal to IP. ST is equal to BP. For equal angles, measure of angle S is equal to the measure of angle B. How about the measure of angle I? That is also equal to the measure of angle I, or the measure of angle SIT is equal to the measure of angle BIP. How about the measure of angle T? Very good. That is equal to the measure of angle P. Okay, very good. We determine all the corresponding parts of triangle SAT and triangle BIP. Now let's try another one. Okay, study the figure very carefully. You may start answering with me. Given triangle SIT congruent to triangle BIP, the measure of angle S is equal to 45 degrees and BP is equal to 10 centimeters. We're going to find letter A, the measure of angle B, and ST. Okay, let's solve this. For letter A, since the measure of angle S is congruent to the measure of angle B as you can see in the figure, if the measure of angle S in our given is 45 degrees, then we can say that the measure of angle B is also equal to 45 degrees. Very good. For letter B, segment BP is congruent to segment ST, as you can see in the figure. If BP or if the measure of BP is equal to 10 centimeters, then ST is also equal to 10 centimeters. Very good. I think you are ready to apply our learnings in real world. But before that, I will ask you some questions related to Malabon City and to the current situation that we have. Are you ready? Okay, here is my question. Who is the city mayor of Malabon? Who is he? Yes, very good. He is Mayor Antolin Oreta III. City mayor often develop and propose policies. Their basic responsibility is to carry out the council's directives and to implement the policies adopted by the council. This is from MRSC Local Government Success. Last March 22, our city mayor posted in the social media some personal news related to his condition. This is the post of our city mayor in his Facebook page. Nagpa-swab test tayo as part of contact tracing. Today, lumabas sa resulta na positive ako sa COVID-19. Bagamat wala akong symptoms gaya ng lagnat, I will be working at home in the following days. There is also an ongoing contact tracing sa mga naka-interact ko this past few days. This is posted by Mayor Lenlen Oreta last March 22. Our source is inquirer.net. As you can see, even our city mayor gets sick because of this pandemic that we have today. We are facing many challenges because of this COVID-19. Because of this pandemic, the whole nation is facing many challenges. As an individual, we can help our government by being responsible and by obeying the rules related to COVID-19 protocols. Since that we are talking about COVID-19, have you heard the word COVID facility? Maybe you heard this word in the news. Nowadays, many local governments are constructing COVID facilities. This is a management area where they offer healthcare services to treat people positive in coronavirus or COVID-19. Now, let's take a look at this problem related to constructing of COVID facility. Okay, let's take a look at this problem. Suppose the city government of Malabon is planning to put up a COVID facility in a triangular lot located at Gulayan Street, Barangay Katmon. The city mayor wants to divide it into two triangular lots with the same shape and size. As a city engineer, your task is to estimate the fencing cost of two triangular lots. List all the congruent sides and angles based on the given figure. How much will be the total estimated cost of the project if the city government will have to spend 1,200 pesos per meter of fencing? Now, let's take a look at this triangular lot. Okay, so this is our project side. Let's list down all the congruent angles and congruent sides. Triangle ACB is congruent to triangle ACD, so the congruent sides are segment AC is congruent to segment AC. Okay, segment CB is congruent to segment CD. Segment AB is congruent to segment AD. For congruent angles, we have angle A congruent to angle A, or angle B AC is congruent to angle DAC. Angle C is congruent to angle C, or angle ACB is congruent to angle ACD, and angle B congruent to angle D. Now that we determine all the congruent sides and angles of triangle ACB and triangle ACD, we can now start solving for the estimated cost of the fencing projects. Okay, so how much is the total estimated cost? So for our given, we have cost per meter of fencing is equal to 1,200 pesos. So for our solution, AC is equal to 110 meters, CB is equal to 90 meters, AB is equal to 142 meters. So the perimeter of a triangle, so in your grade 7 mathematics, this is the sum of all three sides. Very good. So to find the perimeter of triangle ACB, we're just going to add AC plus CB plus AB, where we have 110 plus 90 plus 142. So for the perimeter of this triangle, what is our answer? Very good. So our perimeter is 342 meters for triangle ACB. Now, can you get the estimated cost for triangle ACB for its fencing? Yes, very good. So the estimated cost for triangular lot ACB, if we're going to have the fence for this one, we have 1,200 pesos times 342 meters. So what is the answer? Very good. The answer is 410,400 pesos. Now that we have the fencing cost for triangle ACB, how much is the total estimated cost for this project? So for our solution, the estimated cost for triangular lot ACB is 410,400. Since triangle ACB is congruent to triangle ACD, the estimated cost for triangular lot ACD is also 410,400. So, how much is the total estimated fencing cost of the project? Very good. We're going to add the cost for triangular lot ACB plus the cost for triangular lot ACD, and that will give us 410,400 pesos plus 410,400 pesos. So our estimated cost for this fencing project is 820,200 pesos. So very good. Okay, now we appreciate the real-life application of congruent triangles. I know that you learned so many things in our today's session. We learned so many things. Thank you so much. Okay, what have you learned? We learned that two figures or objects are congruent if they have the same shape and size. And two triangles are congruent if their vertices can be paired so that corresponding sides are congruent and corresponding angles are congruent. For our assessment for today, I sent the Google form link in our Messenger group chat. You may open it now to check your understanding of our lesson. For those who cannot use the Google form, don't worry. You may take the assessment here in our video lesson. After answering the test, you may send a personal message to me to submit your answer. Okay, let's start. In Figure 1, given triangle DEF congruent to triangle GHI, answer the questions in items number 1 to 3. By looking at the figure, segment EF corresponds to blank. Letter A, segment GH. Letter B, segment HG. Letter C, segment HI. Or letter D, segment IG. Your 5 seconds starts now. Okay, time is up. What is your answer? The answer is letter C, segment HI. Segment EF corresponds to segment HI. Number 2. If the measure of angle G is equal to 46 degrees, what is the measurement of angle D? A. 36 degrees, B. 46 degrees, C. 56 degrees, or letter D. 90 degrees. Your 5 seconds starts now. Okay, time is up. What is your answer? The answer is letter B, 46 degrees. If measure of angle G is 46 degrees, the measure of angle D is also 46 degrees because they are corresponding angles. For number 3, true or false? The figure shows angle EDF congruent to angle GHI. True or letter B, false? Your 5 seconds starts now. Okay, time is up. What is your answer? Okay, very good. The answer is letter B, false. Because angle EDF is not congruent to angle GHI. They are not corresponding angles. For number 4, in figure 2, all the following statements are true except letter A, segment AC is congruent to segment FE. Letter B, angle A is congruent to angle D. Letter C, DE is equal to AB, or is it EF is equal to BC? Your 5 seconds starts now. Okay, what is the answer? Okay, very good. All the following statements are true except segment AC is congruent to segment FE because they are not congruent since they are not corresponding sides. Very good. For number 5, if BC is equal to 10 centimeters, what is the measure of EF? Is it A, 5 centimeters, B, 8 centimeters, C, 10 centimeters, or D, 20 centimeters? Your 5 seconds starts now. Okay, so what is your answer? Okay, very good. The answer is letter C, 10 centimeters. Congratulations! I know that you have learned so many things today. Let me end my session with a quote from H. Jackson Brown Jr. The best preparation for tomorrow is doing your best today. What we can do today, let's do it, class. Let's help one another to reach our dreams together. Thank you, keep safe, and God bless everyone.